Hello, potential endless pool owner. My name is Glenn Mills, U.S. Olympian and co-founder of GoSwim.tv, a producer of technical swimming videos, partners with USA Swimming and the American Swim Coaches Association. And I wanted to give you just a quick tour of my backyard with my Endless Pool Elite, and to kind of show you some things to think about if you're thinking about getting a pool, which you should be. So first of all the gates to the outside are locked. And this is how our clients come in. We do teach here, so this has had to be thought of a little bit more deeply than just a pool for myself. So welcome to the backyard. So this is an Endless Pool Elite. It's a bit bigger than a standard pool. It's 14 feet long and 9 feet wide. One of the reasons I knew that I had to get it wider than normal is because we have big athletes that come here. We have everyone from actually 7-year-old kids to Olympians, and pretty much all types of people in between. We do have people that come here and test the pool, and one of the things that they ask is how fast does it go? This pool goes really fast. You probably don't need a pool this fast, and so people will ask, how slow does it go? Well, it goes off. It's big enough for me to teach people different balance techniques and things, so that I did want it a little bit bigger for that. But I will show you some of the different speeds, and can pretty much guarantee you, if you're a normal person, that the standard endless pool is going to be fast enough for you. They do have many performance models, again, up to the top of the line, which is this pool. But again, this is what we needed. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we do, the part of the design in putting it together, and then also some of the things, the daily maintenance that some people get worried about. I am not a real handy guy. I'm mostly a video producer, swim coach, teacher, more of a tech guy. I will let you know, I built this. I did it myself. I did have a friend do all the pretty stuff around it, but the actual pool, I dug the hole, and you'll see it's a process, but you can do it yourself. But if you're if you're challenged by this, then Endless Pools does have installers that they can get for you. So I'll show you the design and kind of what we did. It was important to us that we actually bought this house specifically knowing that we were going to put this pool here. And knowing that we were going to stay here for a while, I buried it half in and half out of the ground. Now for me as a teacher, this is beneficial because it gives me a great perspective on the swimmers that are in the pool. In fact, this backyard has been designed so much to teaching that these rocks here that you'll see that are at the end of the pool actually give me a perspective so that I stand on these rocks and can watch the swimmer. So you'll see they're centered right in the back. So that's how much thought went into the design of this particular pool. You see that we have pea gravel all the way around the pool. That is because we have splashers in here. We will have people that splash quite a bit because they're swimming very fast. So the water washes down into the pea gravel and then is safer. Now, to make sure that we don't get any pea gravel in the pool, we have this mat here. We do plan on having a nice step, we just haven't gotten to it yet. So I'll show you real quickly. Right now, as you can see, the pool is covered. This is the security cover, so it's very, very secure. I do have the backstroke mirror above, and what you'll notice is right now there is no covering for the pool. In the summertime, because of the heat in Arizona, we're in Scottsdale, Arizona, and because of the heat, I generally have a sunshade that goes over the entire backyard. But in the winter, I take it down, and as you can see, when the sun hits it, it helps warm up the pool. So in the winter, the pool is kept at 85, 86 degrees, which is really warm, but fantastic if you're a teacher, because the hardest thing to do is teach someone that's cold. Now in the summer, we put the sunshade on and we actually turn the heater way down and try to keep the pool maybe 82, because then it becomes very refreshing for the individual. One of the other things you'll notice about this pool, if I move this back a little bit and maybe aim it down, is that this right here, underneath this are the mechanicals to the pool. Not all the mechanicals, but it's the pump and the heater and the filtration. So it all sits against the front of the pool, but it needs to be able to have access. So this is actually on rollers, and there's actually a track right here under the gravel, under the pea gravel, that we cover up so that nobody sees it, but we get monsoons here. And so I have to be able to get this off of there quickly in case any flooding occurs. So there's a pump in there as well as an outlet very close over by the fountain. And so if a monsoon comes and we do experience some flooding, I have another cover that I put over all of this during monsoon season. But if water does seep in, then I start the pump that's in here, which then pumps it over the wall out into the street, which is legal. So that's something that you have to take into consideration, is your environment, and when you're setting it up, kind of how to pre-plan for the future should anything go wrong. If you're putting it indoors, obviously it's going to be, the ventilation is going to be more important, but outside you have to think about just the weather. And fortunately here in Arizona, it doesn't rain much, but when it does, it rains pretty serious. So let's open the pool up, and then I'll show you the daily activity that takes place. So the security cover simply rolls off. And there we are. You'll notice that this pool has the swim mirror on the bottom, it's got the angled mirror on the front, and so depending on how I'm teaching someone, I'll direct their eyes as to what they should be looking at. Again, with the backstroke mirror up top. You will notice that there's a noodle on the bar, on the swim bar. That's because this morning I was teaching somebody backstroke, and it's not always the easiest to keep exactly where you want to be, even if they're looking at the mirror. So I put that there just to make sure that nobody hits their hand. So you can see here that on a daily basis, I will just put a little floater with a couple pieces of chlorine in here, and that helps me keep everything very stable. The other daily activity is we do live in the desert, and so even with the pool covered, it will get some dust. So on a daily basis, the first thing I do is I sweep the pool. So this is a portable pool sweeper, and I've got a pole over there for it. And so all you do is twist this, stick that to the bottom of the pool, and pick up any dust or any dirt that gets in the pool. You might be thinking about the pea gravel that's around. We're really successful in keeping the pea gravel out just because people will wipe their feet off before they get in. And I think in the year that this pool has been here, we've had one piece of gravel in the pool. So we've been successful as far as that's concerned. The other thing is that because it's outside, there will be some debris that gets in the pool. It might be leaves, or at this time of the year, during a lesson, some of the pine may fall in. So we want to be able to clean that. You can always just use the net, but the really cool way. And you'll see me climb around on this thing. And this is built really solidly, again, for teaching. I get in all kinds of positions for teaching. So what I do with this is there's a nice little bar here on the front. And I'm going to take off the noodle. And you don't have to do this from outside the pool like I do it. You can do it from in the pool. So I just take this, put it through there, hook it to this, which is then hooked to the swim mirror. So now that net is on the front of the pool, and I just turn the water on. So as the water comes on, it's forcing water into the net, which then will gather any of the small debris that is in the channels or just floating around in the pool. So that is a genius invention right there, and saves me a ton of time. I run it for about 5 minutes in the morning, and it does a great job keeping the pool clean. Water clarity is hugely important to me because in teaching, I do a lot of filming underwater. So again, a daily check of the chlorine, of the pH, of making sure that it's not going anywhere. There's a filter right here. I wash that about once a week, just with a very heavy hose. I just spray it down because we get a lot of dust and dirt being in the desert. And so cleaning that on a frequent basis also keeps the water very clear. One of the things that you probably have noticed is that you can't hear the pool running. And if you can, it's just kind of a very, very low drone, which is what I wanted. This is not my first pool. This is my second pool. And so I kind of knew going into it what I wanted the environment to be like out in the backyard. And we wanted it very peaceful, especially from a teaching perspective and neighbors. We actually purposely bought this house because it's on the corner, so I can do stuff like this and nobody hears me. Now, I do want to let you listen to the motor, so I'm going to bravely take you into my garage, which is like a normal garage, which is not the cleanest in the world. But I want you to hear the motor, and it's one of the things to take into consideration when you're designing your environment. So there we turn the motor off. Now you'll notice that the motor is on a block. This is by code in our area. So it's elevated off the ground, and it's also just high enough so that my car could not hit the motor, which is also code. So you can see that when we turn it on, and again, this is the high power 7.5 horsepower Endless Pool Elite. So this might be a little louder. I'm not sure about the other ones. They may be the same sound, but you can see it makes some noise, but it's working hard. And this thing goes really fast. So where you position your motor is going to be very important based on the environment that you want to create. So now we'll go back out. I'm going to shut the garage door. Now, you saw where the motor is. Now, one of the things that I had to do was, because the pool is dug down, there is a trench that I dug down through here that holds the hydraulic lines, the low volt electrical, and they all go through this wall. Now, this is a temporary seat. You can see here we're building an outdoor shower, so it'll be nice for people when they come over. But there is a trench that comes down here that is in really thick conduit, so it's protected. It's not just laid in the line, even though it's probably okay just laid in the ground. We did put it in some conduit and made sure that it had some weather treatment stuff in it. So this is basically it. I like to make sure that I take off the net or the screen while the motor is running, and that way nothing falls out into the pool. So again, I climb on the pool, I come here, take it off there, make sure that I still have some pressure on it, take it out, and there's nothing in it because I did it already this morning. I'll show you a little bit of the speeds on the pool, and then that should be about it for right now. So I appreciate you taking the time and watching. So I have the swim gauge up front, and so that tells me the water speed, which is very important as I'm teaching to know exactly how fast the swimmer's going. So right now it's set at 159, which is approximately 2 minutes per 100 yard is the rate that we base it off of. So this pool goes 51, and it really is much better to show with somebody in it, and maybe I'll get in and show you, but some of the performance pools go to 108, and this is where people question, is this pool fast enough? We're not quite there yet. This is 108. So you can see by the water hitting in the back how fast this is. And so most people don't swim here. And when I'm teaching or giving lessons or training someone, we're generally around 130 to 145. The Olympians that come here, they max it out. They go as fast as it goes, which is 51 seconds per 100. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So there it is at max speed. And you can see if I leave it there, the water's actually going to splash out of the back. So we don't like to leave it there without a person in it. So when a person's in it, it disrupts that flow, and we don't get as much of the spill in the back. Endless Pools does have a guard for that. I decided not to put it on because I have people that push off the back quite a bit. because we get into this, we actually work on some breakouts and different skills pushing off the back wall. So I decided to not put it on, but they have made accommodations for that if you do go really fast and you're by yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the pool. If you have any questions, obviously I'm easy to find. You can find me at GoSwim.tv, the website. Instagram is GoSwimTV, and obviously we have a Facebook page and all the usual socials. But contact Endless Pools. They're wonderful people. I've worked with them for a couple decades now, and just a fantastic environment, great place to swim, and especially these days, it's great to own your own water. Thank you.